William Coffin, that's our grandfather, is a lawman, and his name was Nanaga, and he was a big part of that. There's a photo of him flying a Nipperley flag in black and yellow, I think it would have been, because that was the marble bar colour. There were lots of people there, and they wanted to show that all the different tribal men came from different tribes, so that they had their names on boxes or on sheets or on flags that were made up, showing who they were. That drew him a lot of negative vibes from the community, which is pretty much a white establishment. Yeah, he was seen as a stirrer, basically. But today, of course, looking at it certainly from our point of view, that makes him and those blokes legends, you know.
Obviously, it was before my time, but it was during the period of my parents' and grandparents' time. And I remember my parents and my grandparents talking about it a lot back then and what happened, and how the Aboriginal guide rode around on a push bike to tell everybody in the Pilbara about the D-Day, of the date of the walk-off for wages, which was supported by Don McLeod. He didn't like the way that Aboriginal people were being treated at the time. I remember my mum telling me stories from the cattle stations when she worked out on the stations on how the non-Indigenous used to mix the sugar and the tea leaves together to make it more difficult for Aboriginal people. So then they used to get the yandy and yandy the tea and the sugar to separate them, like they did with tin or gold. And they'd yandy it and sift it and separate the sugar to the tea. And I remember Mum telling me lots of stories like that.
That was the best thing that ever happened when they went on strike, stood up for all the Aboriginal people because they were being treated like that. So it's starting to just coming about now that people are actually starting to come out of their shell and talking about a lot of things that weren't allowed to talk about in the old days.